Welcome back. We're at the end of the map picking, and let's see here. We're just about done. So the match has started, and right. In the bottom left, on 2000 atmospheres, we have our blue Zerg, LeeFunnn. And in the top right, we have our red Terran, Chibi Ichigo. Now, these are both NA players, both American. One represents the West Coast, where it's super early, it's 9 AM, and representing the East Coast, I believe, East NA at least, where it's, hope it's not me. It was me. Okay, I hope it didn't affect them. So, we have LeeFunnn, who is East NA, where it's just about noon right now, I think. So, not as harsh as getting up at 9 AM to play StarCraft competitively. So, we have scouts going in opposite directions, and they won't meet each other, since one can go by air and the other has to come around. So what can we expect Chibi to see? We also have a pool before hatch, so quite defensive, and gas. So the gas suggests it's going to be speedlings or something other a bit aggressive. And the Terran Scout is a bit sneaky, or takes the long way around, but didn't do anything, so it was possibly just to scout for things. Possibly since she might not have seen the hatch go down early. What do we have happening in the Terran base? We have a Reaper in production and a command center. And after the Reaper we have a bunker, so expecting some early aggression. Do we have... We have a Baneling nest going down. Has Chibi seen it? No, she hasn't.
This better be good.
But she does have a scouting SCV that's going to get picked off pretty early by initial 6 and then 2 more Zerglings. So she gets confirmation that there is some aggression going down. So she builds everything on the high ground, or he actually started the command center on the high ground very long ago, so no news there. And gets ready to hold off the initial push with speedlings. And there are more speedlings coming in. And 1 or 2 speedlings get lost, get killed initially. And we have a huge morph to banelings. See if Chibi sees... Oh, she sees it now with the Reaper. But she changes her mind about building a bunker on the low ground. And now we shall see. Can this bust work? He needs to get through at least one of the depots, preferably do more damage. And the bust has worked, and we have Zerglings in the mineral line, or actually attacking... Well, a little bit of this and a little bit of that. We have more Banelings being built in Chibi's base, and unless she responds to that soon, those are going to go to attack the remaining workers. The workers are not in the mineral line, but this could be horrible for Chibi. So almost every unit of Chibi is gone, and we have quite a few workers going down. 21 workers going down, and Lee is just pouring on with more and more Zerglings. So even though Chibi has 2 orbitals, she really doesn't have any income at the moment. And there we have the GG. And Lee has won. So a very intense first game, very quick. And we're getting ready to move on to the second map. And the countdown has begun. We're about to move into the second map. Lee is up 1-0 against Chibi Ichigo. And let's see what Chibi can do to equalize this. There we go. And so, in the lower left, we have the blue Zerg, LeeFunnn. And in the top right, we have the red Terran, Chibi Ichigo. And let's see here, we have everything going on as standard right now. We're very early on. And we have a drone going up to the natural for a hatch first, I'm guessing. No, it's moving on. Or no? Just checking for proxies, I suppose. And in here we have gas and barracks on standard timings. And we have cheering in chat. I'm so happy to see that. So early on in the game there isn't enough to comment on, and pretty soon after that there's too much to comment on. So let's see here. We have gas and we have a pool. So hatch gas pool, I think. May have been hatch or gas hatch pool, but no, I believe it's hatch gas pool. GB Scout arrives, seeing the hatchery is almost halfway done, or beyond halfway done. Sees that the same is true for the spawning pool. Building a Reaper, probably for scouting and light harass. And we already see a difference here in that the expansion comes down in the natural rather than on the high ground. We have some early mules going down to boost that income. We also have a second supply depot. Wonder if that this gap here is intentional to allow stuff to get through early on, so you won't have to bother with the supply depots, or if the placement was a mistake. Reaper waiting on the edge, going in now. Let's see if we can get a few kills. First drone goes down, and the Zerglings are just waiting. Second drone goes down, and one Zergling, that's probably a missed micro, but now that the Queen's out, the lone Reaper is easily shooed away. We have a few extra Zerglings in the main and in the natural, and guessing to thwart or distract enemy drops. And what do we have here? We have a 1-1-1 building, and the only thing I know about it is that it's called a 1-1-1 and that we have one of each production facility for the Terran. I don't really know what it's good for, if it's a standard build or anything else. But we also have what looks as a macro game, which is somewhat standard early on. No really high-tech shenanigans. But here we have a surprise. 15 or so Lings come in. Get the early Marine, stop the bunker from building, and now we have a horde of Zerglings coming in, and they get every single unit on the low ground, and I'm afraid that Chibi is going to have to lift. There she does that, and we have just Zerglings coming in the production tab. However, since there aren't any Banelings, I think she might have trouble getting through the depot wall, and the repairs are ready, And we have an initial Liberator coming in for GB. That's probably going to shift the LeeFunn's focus back to her base. And now with 4 Hellions, she feels kind of safe moving out again. But she will probably have to microbit to have them kill these many Lings. She tucks them in, and she has 2 more Hellions and the Liberator ready. The remaining Lings aren't that many, so how many are there? 8? So that's not quite enough to threaten the base, I think. Not with both the Hellions, the Liberator, and the Marine. But in the meanwhile, Lee has gotten a 3rd. He's got decent saturation, or good saturation on both main and natural. She has built spores, or has started spores, so she has probably noticed this Liberator and wants to be somewhat safe against it. So spore in the main. I don't see a spore in the natural, and nothing in the 3rd yet. GB is also going for an expansion with her 3rd command center. She might just use that, or she seems to be ready to use that to saturate her main or natural mineral line initially. So let's see how much we can get done with this Liberator. It just flies over the 3rd. Probably wants a more target-rich environment in the natural. Gets 2, 3, 4 drones before she needs to move it, and she also stops a lot of mining time in the meanwhile. Here we have something interesting. Sorry, I missed that. We also have another 2 Liberators going down and a 3-prong attack. Like I said, either it's too much, or either it's too little to comment on, or it's too much. But the Liberators are getting shooed off or destroyed. So no more Liberators in either the main or the natural, but we have drones idling. So we need to get those back to work. And how is it looking here? We have the bunker going up, we have the 3rd orbital, but we also just heard a Nidus worm. So all aggression all the time. And unfortunately that tank is currently in the wrong place. However, we see a bit of derping going on here when you have a wall. So these Lings here aren't contributing anything, since all the fighting is going on in the main base, which Chibi seems to abandon, and I think that's a wise decision. Unfortunately, I do believe she would need those production buildings producing as soon as possible. However, this derpiness here with the dual walls does save Chibi for the while, in the meanwhile, and we have more tech coming down from Lee. Lee is doing a supreme job of just being all in Chibi's face all the time. Chibi basically seems overwhelmed by all the action of LeeFunnn. And we have Zerglings down in the natural as well, so pretty soon there won't be any place left for Chibi to go. We have lost over 30 SCVs, and the losses just keep going up. And we have a victory for Lee. Let's see if Chibi joins as well. She is very welcome to, but to start off, congratulations. You're in the finals. Welcome, Chibi. So now we have both of you here. Let's talk about the first map as a starter. There was early aggression, banelings busting the depot wall and getting through and messing up a mineral line.
I'm sorry.
What?
No, it's okay. It's okay.
So let's see here. Okay. Yeah. So I'm very sorry if I'm seeming very distracted. That's because I am. You weren't here at the beginning of the stream, but I explained. Caitlin sort of through miscommunication thought the tournament was on another day, and she had other engagements today. She will try to make it through to the finals, perhaps even the third place match. We'll see. So that happened, but that's why I'm all over the place and have trouble speaking in complete sentences. But anyways, did either of you prepare specific builds for each other?
No. I thought my TVZ is pretty good for the most part, so no, I didn't prepare anything.
Okay, Lee, did you prepare specifically for Chibi? Did you sense these builds that you did? We're talking about the first map right now. That build would surprise her or work particularly well against Chibi?
Well, I prepared because Chibi is like 2 ranks above me, and I was like, oh no, I don't know what to do. So I prepared that Bane bus specifically for the tournament, but not like at Chibi. It was just for the tournament.
Okay, so a bit of early aggression, and then in the second map, you oh, now I'm forgetting the word for it. You brought out basically every possible tactic that's meant to distract the opponent. You had feelings pretty early on. You had a Nidus Worm, and also as a third part of the punch, I don't think Chibi saw that ever, but there were mutas coming, or air at least.
Mm-hmm.
That was quite the offensive. So now that the initial round is done, we know that Lee is going to the finals and Chibi is going to the bronze match. Chibi, you will be facing off against Angeline, and Lee, you will be facing off against Moistchip. So even though we can't do anything about it, would you have preferred to face the other Protoss rather than the one you're facing?
Me?
Either or, both of you.
Yeah, I watch Angeline a lot, and I understand her play, and I had to really prepare a lot for the way Angeline plays.
Okay, but since you're facing Moistchip now, that.
Oh yeah, I also watch Moistchip a lot, and I'm very scared, but
Okay.
you know the best player will win.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Thanks, I'm gonna need it.
So we're going to take like 5 to 10 minute break now,